Thank you, Sharks. And thank you, Berlin, also. Deficio, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry that the journey has to end like this, but you know how it is. Competition has to be winner, has to be loser. Yeah, I know you were just outside with the players. Without saying too much and without being too intrusive, can you tell me about what happens backstage when you need to comfort your players after ending the year like this? Well, what would you have to say to them to comfort them?
I mean, at the moment you can't say too much, right? Everyone reacts in their own way to mainly just to losing the series. I think that's what everyone thinks about, not about the year being over or anything. But we have really good staff who's, you know, just kind of talking through everything with the guys and making sure everyone is doing okay. But in this situation, you just need time and to wait a little bit before I think you do any deeper conversations.
It's never easy, but I'm sure that you and the staff have the right words to appease the players for now. But I think when you think of Misfits this year, it's fair to say that you guys exceeded expectations, replacing players twice, reaching playoffs twice. Also, how do you reflect on the year you had and how far you brought this lineups actually with the two changes?
It's kind of funny to sit here now, reflecting on the year. Would have been great to make Worlds, I'll say that much. I think we came into the year kind of following up on last year, where we were also very close, even closer to making Worlds. Made a few upgrades to the team, but stuck to the same identity and style, and found obviously new rookies we could bring in and found Neon and so on. So we knew coming into the year that we actually had a really strong team and didn't really mind the outside opinions, because it's so hard to judge obviously from the outside, especially with rookies and so on. But yeah, still think we managed to exceed expectations by getting top 4 twice. Which was fantastic from regular season. Obviously, now you sit with the bittersweet feeling when it comes to best of fives and playoffs. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, we had a very solid year. But I think we also very disappointed because we actually really felt we could have pushed it into Worlds.
And as hard as it may feel, and I understand, as you said, you chose the rookie road for the past 2 years. I mean, players like Razork, who were going to make their first World Championship, players like Vitio, that you helped finding a career, Neon also, bringing in Zanzara, Irrelevant also on the top lane. When you think of these players and the help you provided for them, what kind of future do you foresee with these rookies that you helped us discover?
I mean, I think every single one of these players should obviously be in the LEC next year. I think that's quite obvious. I think we had success because a lot of players could individually step up from time to time when it mattered, but they also understood how to play well as a team, which I think is a very underrated skill. Not every player understands and can bring to the table. So I think we have some individually very good players, but obviously lacking experience, sometimes lacking certain picks in the champ pool that the more seasoned players maybe have already mastered and picked up over the last many years. So I think, I don't hope anyone judges them based on, you know, today's 3-0. I think we had a good series last week. I think we had a great regular season again. So I think there's some great talent here. And the same thing I want to say about, you know, our coaching staff behind them. I think they've managed to be such an important part of scouting and finding players over the last 2 years, of figuring out how to utilize young players and actually get the most out of them and get them up to speed very quickly with what you need in order to play in the LEC. You know, if you think back to summer last year, we had a great start. Spring this year, we had a great start. Obviously rough one in this summer, but then we bounced back. I think that all comes down to the whole group being super strong together and our coaches being incredibly good at understanding what this team needs in order to win, which is the most important skill from a staff. So yeah, I think we have some amazing people and amazing players that all quite obviously deserve a job in the LEC or LCS or wherever for next year, and I think their resume shows that.
And I can only expect and wish them a happy and long career, of course. But when one journey begins, one has to end. And as Chuck said earlier, this was Misfits' last dance, if I may say. It's been an org that resonates with the LEC, resonates with Europe, and the legacy is immense, for me at least, when you think about all the different iterations we had of Misfits, the 2017 lineup, the failed super team, the young rosters that you built for the past 2 years. You saw all of these Misfits, whether you were a caster or joined them as a manager. What does Misfits represent to you when you think of the impact they left in Europe?
Surprises and entertainment in a lot of ways. I guess always trying to bring something new to the table. Every year they've been in the league. I think it's an organization that's had a lot of ups and downs as well over the last many years, which is natural when you come in with a lot of ambition and you try and like push it as far as you can. So yeah, I guess for me, mainly the last 2 years matters, right? I think we turned a page. That was a key thing within the organization for everyone working here, like kind of resetting from where the org was just before that, and figuring out a new identity and style for the organization, for the League of Legends team specifically, and trying to figure out how do we get the most out of the next years, essentially. And that was kind of putting more emphasis on the structure, on the staff, and on the well-being of the team, trying to get the most out of everyone's skill that way. And then, of course, be willing to gamble on very well-researched rookies or underrated players that we managed to sign. Vander last year as well, Nian this year, and so on. So I think we become a very well-oiled machine and a very fun place to work, which I'm very proud of. So obviously very sad to see it end now. Would have loved to just continue the machine going and hopefully go Worlds next year then.
Well, in any case, thank you for the memories, thank you for everything you built with Misfits, and thank you, Misfits, also for everything you did for the league. It doesn't stop there, though. You'll be with us in Malmö next week to share more about Misfits and the legacy the team left in Europe. Deficio, thank you so much for joining me today. Sharks, back to you in PGL.